Okay, I wanted to do a video on making traditional tacos. So some of you might be asking, what in the hell you doing making a cooking video? You're a woodworker. You dick around with electronics and stuff. Well, cooking is very similar in that you start with your raw materials, you do stuff with tools and run it through some machinery. The big difference is you can actually eat this shit, or at least I can. Now, these are traditional tacos. And by that, I mean this is the way I have traditionally made them for over 10 years and pretty much fine-tuned the process. Now it's time to prepare the meat. And what I use is 80-20 ground beef. Now, adjust the heat a little bit. You can use shredded beef, or you can use chicken. There's lots of different types of filler meat that you can use if you want to, but I'm not going to eat them. This is, if I can't have them this way, then I'm going to Del Taco. So I gotta, get it broken up and do as good a job as possible of scratching up the bottom of the pan with that metal spatula. And then, of course, one of the key ingredients is beer. Not to actually put in the food. No, this is an ingredient, all right, but you don't put it in the tacos. Today we're going with Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer. Sometimes it's Modelo. I forgot to get Modelo, which is traditional. And then we're going to add the flavoring to the meat. And it's a traditional meat flavoring. It's whatever I find at the store. This happens to be the same brand as the pre-bent taco shells I bought. So, it's, they go together. And you got to put a measured amount on there. Make sure you get just the right amount. Or just pour it all in. It's pretty much easier that way. And then you mix it in there, taking the appropriate amount of care to scratch the shit out of the pan so you can't make eggs in it anymore. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have done. On the package it says to add water after you put the mix in there, and so I did. Well, what happens if you add water? It gets watery. So now it looks like more and more like a pan full of vomit. We'll let the vomit cook down so it looks pretty much like it did before I poured the goddamn water in there. So we'll prepare the other ingredients. The diced tomatoes with jalapenos. That's, again, traditional. Kroger brand, because it's the cheapest. Some people drain the tomatoes. Knock yourself out. Well, I forgot to buy shredded lettuce. So now I got to use this contraption. I've never used it. We have somebody else in the house that actually knows how to cook, and she uses this kind of stuff. So now I got to make my own shredded lettuce. And this didn't go very well. All it did was just... Part of the problem, I think, is the lettuce is kind of old. But I had it, and I just didn't want to go back to the store. Next time I'm going back to the goddamn store. This is bullshit. It just makes a huge mess. I got some shredded lettuce out of it, but it was more like a lettuce puree, which, it was not crisp. It was kind of gooey. And no, we're not going to do this again. So I put what I had in the bowl, and I started trying to figure out how I was going to clean this shit up. So I got the mess cleaned up, and it's about this time in the process where I like to have a drink. And, of course, the traditional drink when you're making tacos is tequila. but you want to get the lettuce out of the shot glass. And it sets the palate. It gets the palate ready, you know, because you're on the verge here of actually assembling some tacos. I'm drinking Sauza Hacienda today, mostly because it's cheap and nobody else here likes it. All right, let's make some tacos. You can see the vomit cooked down pretty good. These are not the traditional taco shells. This is one of the refinements I made in the process. These have a square bottom. You can put more stuff in there and you can just set them in the plate. You don't have to have some kind of a stupid racking system to keep them from falling over. So yeah, then you just start piling in the ingredients. I usually start with the cheese, and then I add the tomatoes, and then the lettuce puree, which is it's a visual effect. It's for the presentation. That's really what it's for. And there we have it. We'll test this first one out. And now for the finishing touch, our taco sauce. This happens to be the traditional sauce that I use, which comes from Del Taco. I always order extra, and they give you as much as you want. That way I have some for when I make tacos the traditional way.